What's going on, beautiful people? I'm not going to take too much of your time. Basically, today I am going to a London Fashion Week brunch put together by a beautiful babe that I know and love, dAY, for a few quote-unquote influencers. You guys know I'm a bit about that term. And so I decided to actually film a little get ready with me. I'm currently running late, but I have good reasons. I came from an appointment, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to finish off my very messy cheese and egg homemade bagel. Now, I didn't actually put it on the plate like this. It looks a bit wild. It just looks like I'm a mess, but it's not. It's when I put it down, it started to slide. The theme for today is like a pink. I'm probably going to a brunch. I don't know why I'm eating. So I've already determined I am going to be late, but you know what? I'm going to try my quickest. I'm going to try my best to be as quick as possible. I thought I should do a little get ready with me. Obviously, today, as you guys are watching this, is now Valentines, which happy Valentines to everyone out in these streets. Well, those that are locked down, not out in these streets. And if you're still out in these streets, it's okay. It's all right. You know, Valentine's just another, way for this capitalist society to make money off of you and me. And you and me are dumb enough to buy into it. That's just what it is. But we love it. We love it, really. Did I even explain what this Get Ready With Me was going to be about? As you can probably tell by the title of this video, this Get Ready With Me is about the realities of being in a relationship. I've actually wanted to film this video for a long time, but then obviously when Valentine's was around the corner, I was like, perfect, I'll just film it for Valentine's instead. I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about the realities of being in a relationship, because I feel like people have a very interesting view of relationships nowadays, especially when they see people on Instagram that are in relationships. Like, I get it all the time, relationship goals, all of that. But I wanted to give you guys the real tea in terms of being in a long-term relationships. I ain't in relationships, I'm in one relationship. So just in case you have never seen me before, you've never watched my channel, I have been with my now fiance for 3 years, over 3 years now, and then we got engaged 2 months ago. By the way, everything that I'm going to be using, I'm going to put in the description box below, but I'm going to show you guys anyway. I haven't done a Get Ready With Me in ages. I missed y'all. Anyway, so this is the Glow Cherie L'Oreal Paris 24-hour hydration natural glow enhancer. I love this. I've been using it under my makeup recently, and it just adds a real glow. And then what I do is I mix it with the Glow Up Primer Serum, which, there we go, from e.l.f., which I also love. It has like gold bits in it, and you guys from previous videos will know that I love anything with like gold elixir or gold bits or whatever in it. Also, forget the mess happening over here. My thingy broke, so I'm actually in the process of building a brand new thingamabob rail. My foundation has also run out. And I just haven't, basically guys, like, I've just been so busy. Obviously, you guys know, before I get into anything, I'm sure you guys know by now, I launched the Powerclass Programme. Yay! Really exciting, which is basically a program where we delve into certain topics every week, more in depth. So obviously it's an extension of the Powerclass Masterclass, which is all about helping you to reclaim your power, which is a bi-monthly event that I do. We have one at the end of this month on the 28th, so I strongly suggest you are there, because it's all about reclaiming power over your vision, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm so sorry guys, but I think the lighting has shifted. I'm sorry, I'm using natural light, so just gonna have to deal with it. What was I saying? This is the only thing about CHITCHAT Get Ready With Me, is I always end up like going off on so many different tangents. That's it, the Powerclass Programme. So really excited about that. We launched on Sunday, and so many of you guys have already signed up, which is like, get me gas. It's out, it's ready for you guys, and it's for anyone that, yes, is looking to reclaim their power, But most importantly, as I've kind of phrased it, to build a more powerful you, both on and offline, because I feel like it's really important for us to work on the person as well as your brand and your business and what you're trying to build, because at the end of the day, people buy from people. And if you as a person can develop yourself, develop certain skills, you will be able to propel your business. There's just no question about it. There's no doubt about it. So my aim is to just help people to learn certain skills that I have been blessed enough to learn over the years, and I've used over the years, that has allowed me to get to where I am today. So you know, I always say, like, no, I'm not an expert in everything. I'm still learning. I haven't stopped learning, but I certainly believe that there's certain things that I have learned that have allowed people to appreciate the journey and appreciate where I am, to the point where I get so many of you guys asking me mentoring, coaching, oh, can I, you know, go over this, can I go over that? And the thing is, I realized, I was like, I'm one person. I will not be able to help all of these people. So I thought, how can I help as many people as possible, but in a way that just makes sense, you know? Because listen, can't come and kill myself. I really can't, you know? So the Powerclass program is available for anyone and everybody, and because our sessions are online and all of our resources are online, so from workbooks to video resources, everything is online, so you can be anywhere in the world. So there's no excuse. You can be literally wherever on this planet and you can participate. So do you know what, I think this is even enough. I don't even want a lot of product on my face anyway. So make sure you sign up to the Powerclass program, become a member. You'll get loads of perks, loads of really exciting stuff. So yeah, become a member, check it out. I'm gonna link it in the description box below. It'll be the very first link that you see. So yeah, that kind of happened. But anyway, let's actually go into what we said we were gonna talk about today, shall we? Relationships. So the reason why I went into this video is because I feel like there are a lot of misconceptions these days about relationships. As I mentioned to you before, I have been with Ben for 3 years now. We haven't had any breakups. We haven't gone our separate ways. But something I did want to talk about, we definitely have had our fair share of issues. Now, before anyone even tries to put it in their mind or whatever, we've not had any issues with infidelity. No one has cheated, believe me, okay? We haven't had any issues with like being like violent or anything like that. I just want to get that out of people's minds, because you know the internet, sometimes when people say issues, they're like, oh, did he cheat, did she cheat, did blah, blah, blah. No, we haven't had anything like that. But I wanted to do this video because I feel like a lot of people have this misconception that when you find someone that you love, and I love Ben, like I love Ben so much. He is literally the love of my life. I love him. He's such an amazing support. He makes me so freaking happy. I just love him. He's just amazing, like such an amazing man. I love him. I love his family. I love his mum. He's my mum. I just love, like, yeah. That's my babes. I do love him. However, a lot of people obviously only see what's on social media, or they see snippets, or they see the happy part, i.e. like we had our traditional engagement not too long ago. So people see that and they're like, oh my gosh, so amazing. I've seen people comment underneath like my videos and stuff like, God, I see what you're doing for others, when will my own come? And I just kind of wanted to do this video to kind of be real, like to let you guys know that obviously we know that life is not perfect, but you know, the real of being with someone long term is that, one, after you've been with them a little while, you start to see their true colors. As in, obviously, when you first meet someone or you first start dating, your hope is that you'll make the best impression. Because if you're an ass and you're just being horrible to them, I guess from the beginning, or whatever you want to call it, from the beginning, you will chase them off. Like, they will not stay. Like, who wants to be with someone who's basically an asswipe, like who's just horrible? No one wants that. So people try and put their best foot forward at all times. You know, people are always thinking, being very, very conscious of what they're saying, how they're acting towards you, you know, the way that they just are, the way that they're coming across. Like, people are very, very careful, which makes sense because it's a first impression. Just like if Ben was really rude to me on the first date, I would look at him and I'd be like, you are never seeing me again. Like, who do you think you are? But everyone has a tendency to be rude. Everyone has a tendency to be disrespectful, not in like a way of like calling someone out of their name, but just maybe saying things that rub the person up the wrong way. Everyone has the potential to just be stupid. Like, everyone has the potential to do it. And one thing that I want to tell you is that it all, basically, I say that people go through the cupcake stage. The cupcake stage is when everything seems rosy and sweet. You're so happy, like you want to be with them all the time. I still have, of course, I still want to be with my babes all the time, like, hello. But you basically are like obsessed with that person. You're like, oh my gosh, like I want to see them every day, I want to talk to them every day, blah, 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 blah. All of that jazz. Then you get past the cupcake stage and you go into where reality hits you like a train. I didn't even know that I was going to do a cut crease. I thought I was just going to do a middle. Yes guys, my makeup skills have improved. You guys don't know. I'm using this palette also by e.l.f. by the way. It is the Opposite Attract palette, and I've basically been mixing up this colour at the bottom, as you can see, which I use literally every day, and then this warm, it's called Warm colour. I mixed it all together to create kind of like the base. You know me, not a makeup artist like that, but you know, we move. And now I'm just about to put Spicy. Don't know if you guys can see that right there. I'm just gonna put it where my cup crease thing is that I just designed. But yeah, you start to see the reality of that person. The whole airy fairy time of like, oh my gosh, he's so amazing and I just love him so much, and all of that stuff suddenly, not that it wears off, but it suddenly, your fogginess starts to disappear a little bit. Now, the only thing that I would say that might be a bit different is if you are in a physical relationship with that person. Because I feel like, you know, not even I feel like, I know for a fact that it really does cloud your judgment. Like, it does, it really, really does. If you're in a physical relationship with this individual, that fuzziness probably doesn't disappear for a long time. Probably for a very long time. What is the time? That's the real question. Well, you guys are really watching me. I feel like I'm doing the Vogue, or is it the L? It's either L or Vogue, where they do like a little get ready with me with celebrities. So you get past all of that cupcake stage and all the fluffy stuff, and then you start to see their true colors. Okay, you start to see the things that are gonna annoy you. You start to see the real levels of their temperament. So if that person gets angry really quickly, gets frustrated really quickly, you start to see the real. You start to actually see the bits that they spend for quite a while trying to maybe cover up or suppress or not do as much, because they're like, okay, people have told me about this. Either they've had this, people have either told them about it before and kind of been like, you need to get it together, or it was the cause of an issue in their previous relationship, or it could be that they just know and are you know, aware of the fact that, you know, I don't want to be rude all the time, or I don't want to treat someone not so well all the time. So they just, it's a conscious effort that they have made to try and suppress it. But as they go along and as you guys get comfortable with one another, you just start to see these things, and then all of a sudden you're like, this is very interesting. So you do this and this and this, you're like this and this and this, and no word of a lie, guys, it makes you question, like, okay, do I want to carry on with this person? Now, I say that because, guys, it's all well and good saying you want to be with someone and maybe you guys look good together and you can take cute Instagram pictures together and you're like, oh, this will be a great publicity stunt, or a great, like, you know, you love having that person on your arm because you're like, yeah, you know what, we would look great together. But looking great, guys, and being and doing great are two different things in a relationship. Looking great, fantastic, you can take cute pictures, but what then happens when you have to go back and have conversations with one another, or you have to you know, resolve an issue? You guys can look great together, but if you guys are not even able to communicate, you're not able to speak to one another, how the hell do you think that you're going to stand the test of time? So that's one of the things, like, you literally learn, guys, the reality of relationships is that you guys are two separate individual people trying to come together and forge this relationship, even though you've been brought up, even if you're from the same culture, I don't know, you have, you know, the same principles, you are still two very different individuals who are trying to figure out life for themselves and trying to do things for themselves, trying to grow within themselves. And then it's almost like two planets colliding, trying to come together. You know when they say, you know, men are from Venus, did they say men are from Venus, women are from Mars or something like that? I truly do believe it. I can't lie. We are two totally different types of people. We have different perceptions on things. For example, myself and Ben, like, no, we don't. Like, one thing I always say is that, like, respect is a big factor in our relationship, and I have never and I will never, you know, disrespect him in the sense that calling him out of his name, cussing him out, whatever, because I would never expect the same from him. I would never expect him to disrespect me in such a way, just ever. I just would never expect it from him ever. But we do have disagreements. Let's be real. We have disagreements, guys. And sometimes it's over the dumb... When I say one thing about being in a relationship, guys, you will find the most dumbest things for you guys to disagree on. I'm trying to, you know, be as open and as transparent as possible. But also, you know, you've got to respect the fact that, like, he's my partner and it's our relationship, and not out here to try and air out all of our laundry, though there's not really that much dirty laundry to air out, but I'm not trying to, you know, air it all out to the world. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but you will argue over, like, the smallest and dumbest, most stupid things, and it might not even be like a proper argument. It might just be like a, no, but I said da 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 da, no, but you didn't say that because I heard da 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 da, and then you'll be going back and forth. And then there's times where we just decide, we're just like, do you know what, there's no point of us going back and forth with this, like, it is what it is. And that's the realities of a relationship. Like, you're gonna have moments with one another where you get on each other's last damn nerves. There's times where literally, like, oh, guys, I get so frustrated. You guys honestly only see all the happy parts, the nice parts. Oh, traditional wedding, marriage, excitement. But you guys don't know. You guys don't know. You guys don't know. Sometimes, like, you don't even really want to talk to that person. Honestly speaking, there's been times where you're just like, ugh. I'm so sorry, I'm telling the truth. You don't even want that person to, like, obviously you want them to breathe, God forbid, but you don't want them to breathe near you. They breathe, it pisses you off. They cough, it pisses you off. They even batter an eyelid and look at you, it pisses you off. So I've got some lashes. Let's see if that's gonna work. Forever lashes, there we go. In Flare. Yes. But these look really long, so I don't know how this is going to work out. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, there are sometimes, guys, you will literally be in the same room as this person and they're pissing you off. Everything that they're doing is just getting on your last damn nerves. You're just like, and obviously I know that it's Valentine's, so I know that people are like, you know, everything is very, very lovey-dovey and it's very sweet, but I wanted to do something a little bit different because I feel like no one tells you about this. Just no one, like, warns you or, like, tells you, like, properly that there are going to be times where you literally look at that person and you're like, ugh, you just frustrate me, you get on my nerves. And because that person is so close to you and you love them so much, and because you literally, like, maybe do everything together, or you're very, very close, whatever you want to call it, they get on your last damn nerves. They're the person that can really, really, really get under your skin, because they have access to you that somebody else in your life doesn't, you know. Like, when Ben, like, my friends or my family could say something to me, it doesn't really irk me, but because it's Ben that's saying it, it, like, touches my soul. It's like, oh, how dare you? And then I'll get annoyed and upset, you know. But honestly speaking, like, my family could say the exact same thing, or my friend could say the exact same thing, and it would not bother me. But because Ben says it, and it might be the way he says it, I'm just like, I'm hurt. Can't believe you said that to me. Something else as well that I've just remembered now is that you will find yourself in situations where you feel tired. I don't know how to kind of like describe it, but you just get tired of like, sometimes you've got to pick your battles, in it. I'm sure people have said it before and you probably heard it before. You really have to learn how to pick your battles, because it's not every day you have to try and fight this person. So sometimes you just go tired, and I know that people are going to listen and be like, oh, this doesn't really sound like, you know, something that I want. But I'm not saying that this is it all the time. If it's all the time, guys, and you're constantly fighting, it feels like you're in constant combat, you feel like you're literally in COD all the time, then I'll definitely say that you might need to figure it out, or, you know, sort things out between you guys. But I'm just talking about like on occasion, sometimes you might go through a period or a season where you guys are not seeing eye to eye. So like, I remember there was one time where it was so strange, and we actually had to have a conversation about it. It was just, our relationship was just in a weird, strange place. I don't know what happened, but we just weren't talking. We weren't friends, because that's one thing about a relationship. You guys should be friends, you know, you guys should definitely be friends first. But we weren't friends. Like, we weren't trying to talk to one another. Conversations were very short. We'd only speak to each other maybe in the morning, just to let each other know, like, yeah, we're awake, whatever. Whereas normally we'll talk in the morning, we have a bit of a chat, and then later on in the afternoon have another chat, then in the evening we'll have another chat after that. Like, we're always updating each other, keeping each other updated in terms of, look at my thing at the end, but I'm still out here trying to salvage whatever I can. But yeah, we'll have, like, you know, great conversations. But no, there was just this season where he was not my mate. He was not my friend. Why are we? We were just not friends. And I can't lie, it actually took for him to be like, okay, like, what's going on? And I think that was definitely bad on my part. And that's something that you have to learn as well when you're in a relationship, like, the importance of communication. I know, again, I'm sure you've heard it before, but I don't think people talk about it enough. Communication is highly, I cannot emphasize it enough, highly important. And sometimes, and I think maybe this is like a woman's thing, sometimes we just learn to be silent, which is a trait that I actually really hate, because I've seen that in close proximity, and I've seen how it can be very detrimental to a relationship, where and it's not, maybe sometimes it's not even out of choice. Maybe for a long time, your partner has silenced you for a long time, especially as women, especially as African women. And I'm sure we can testify to this as well as African women. We've probably seen it with our own mothers, or seen it with aunties, or whatever it is, where men have silenced their women for a very long time. Letting their opinions be known is very rare, like extraordinarily rare. Like, it just doesn't, do you know what I mean? It just doesn't happen because they've been silenced for so long. So I think sometimes as women, we pick stuff like that up and we repeat the same things. And I am so glad that I have a partner that's very big on communication as well, because I know I am, but there's just some days where you're just tired and you're just like, I just don't want to deal with this right now. So I'd rather just be quiet. I really just cannot be bothered to deal with this right now. So I'd rather just be quiet. But I do think it's a bit of a woman's thing where we get, you know what I'm talking about, ladies, like, let's not even lie. You get upset about something, rather than saying anything, you're like, swear down. Okay. And then you give the silent treatment. You don't say nothing. Are you okay? Yep. What's wrong? Nothing. Are you gonna talk to me? No. Did something happen? No. Because in your mind, you're like, did something happen? Negro? Okay, not just Negro. Wherever you are, if I don't snatch you right now, that's what you're thinking in your head. You're having a conversation in your head, you're having a dialogue, and you're like, if I do not go and I snatch you, or I smack you upside the head, or I push you down the stairs. Don't lie, guys. We've all had violent thoughts, okay? Violent thoughts are actually quite human. Acting upon them now is a whole different story. I'm not encouraging anyone to act upon anything violently, please don't come for me. But you're literally like, in your head, you're just like, you should see this. Like, how could you think that it was appropriate for you to talk to me in that way, or to say that thing to me, or to make me feel that way? But ladies, we actually have to remember that men tend to be quite slow. You know, men, even though I don't think Ben is slow actually, because Ben is very like on the ball. He knows when I'm upset, but I also know when he's upset. So, but that's again communication, and we've learned each other. Like, we've made a conscious effort to learn each other's habits, learn each other how we are, blah blah blah. But sometimes men can be a bit slow, and something that can upset you, to them it's like, are you mad? That seriously upset you? Like, what are you talking about? So giving the silent treatment doesn't always work. So what then happens is you just end up being silent on your own, and he's kind of like, okay, well, if you're not going to tell me nothing, that's not my business. I do think that Ben is quite good though. He's quite patient with me, despite the fact that sometimes I do that. And we've had to have a couple of discussions where he's had to be like, you need to tell me there and then, because what I was doing, especially towards, whoa, these lashes are long, especially towards the beginning of our relationship, I would just hold it in, not say anything. And then what would then happen is that when an argument or the disagreement would come up, I would then make mention and be like, yeah, well, you did this and you did that. Not in that way, but just in the sense that, you know, you did this and you did that, and, you know, well, there was that time when, you know, when they say that women never forget. Now, that's not necessarily the case with me, because I tend to forget quite a lot, because I'm literally that person. I could be upset about something now, and then within 2 minutes, I've literally forgotten that hurt. I'm absolutely fine. I'm laughing with you, I'm giggling with you, and I'm totally, you know, calm. My lashes always look like two different pairs of lashes whenever I put them on. But sometimes us women, we don't forget, and we're like, well, you did this and you did that and blah 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 blah, and we get angry and upset literally because we're like, how could you do this? Like, how could you think that that was okay? And I've done it before, guys. I've done it many times. And that's why I said me and Ben have had to have conversations, because sometimes I'm just like, how could you think that that was okay? Going for a very coral, I don't know if I like the lip colour, but we'll go with it for now. But yeah, like, men sometimes need a bit more explanation, because men are very, very rational. They're very like, A plus B equals C, or 1 plus 2 equals 3, you know? That's them. Whereas we're kind of like, A plus B equals X squared plus Z minus the X and the W equals B. What are you talking about? You know, we're very different. So I think just knowing your partner and just really communicating and being open is really important, because yeah, that's another reality, guys. Like, it hits you hard, like, rah, you actually have to make effort. People often think that relationships is just like, oh, if you click, you click. If you work, you work. Nah, you work if you want to work. And that's with any, I genuinely feel like that's with any relationship. Yeah, I genuinely believe that a relationship works if you want it to work. I think a lot of people say that they've tried. Yes, you definitely can try. And you might find that, you know, that person is like obviously not responding to you or whatever. But if you genuinely, you know, call it, you call it quits when you want to call it quits, innit? So with relationships, one thing that I really realized as well, especially because this was like my first kind of as serious, we are literally talking about, well, I did have like a couple that we were talking about marriage and stuff, but this one being like the trajectory is literally marriage focused. It was like the first one. So for me, it was like, we have to learn each other. We have to get into the habit of communicating. We have to get into the habit of making sure that we protect one another, we cover one another, we look out for one another. One thing that I can say is that there is nobody, let me repeat for y'all, no other woman on this planet, other than his mom probably and his sisters, that will look out for my man the way that I will. Okay? That is my babes, and nobody else will look out for him the way that I do and that I will. So, you know, but the realities of relationships is that, guys, they are very hard. Please don't get it twisted. If you are not yet in a place where you are comfortable being on your own, comfortable with yourself, feel like you have developed certain skills, i.e. communication. If you even find it hard to tell someone, I don't know, maybe you find it hard to tell someone in a restaurant when you've ordered something and they give you the wrong order, and you find it hard to even tell them, like, this is not the right order, I asked for X, Y, and Z. If you even find that hard, I highly doubt you should be in a relationship. I don't think you should be in a relationship, because in a relationship, there's a lot of that. A lot of sending back your order and being like, this is what's wrong, that's what's wrong, we need to fix this, what can we do? There's a lot of discussing, a lot of communicating, a lot of having to look within yourself and having to really reevaluate yourself and be like, I was rude in that context, so I should apologize. A lot, and I repeat, a hell of a lot of apologizing. Relationships are basically, I think I read it somewhere, someone was like, relationships are basically just a lot of is it like yes and sorries or something like that? But ultimately, in any relationship, especially if it's going to be long term, I'm not talking about people that are just like doing whatever, or if you're like dating, you know, different people and you're not really trying to be serious, which, listen, live your life, that's none of my business. I think that is great. I think you should date. I think you should definitely figure out what you like, what you don't like, etc. I'm not saying sleep with other people, I'm saying date. But yeah, if you are seriously dating somebody, or you're about to enter into a relationship, especially as you go and do Valentine, you're excited because you're like, oh yeah, my babes, you know, you're gassed, or that all you wanted was a Valentine's, and so someone has now, you know, decided that, yep, they've made you your Valentine, they've made you their Valentine's, and they're taking you out, or you're gonna go and have a lovely dinner, or you're gonna do something over the weekend. Let me just remind you that Valentine's Day and all these fluffy occasions is one day in the year. Just like, for example, your marriage, or the wedding day. What stresses me out is when I hear people talking about the wedding day more than they talk about their actual marriage, because it's like, you guys think this is a joke. I posted it on Instagram as well, and I was like, how what did I say? I said something along the lines of like, yeah, people are like, oh yeah, getting very excited for me, like, oh, you're gonna get married, like, ooh, ha ha ha. And I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing responsibility, mate. I'm seeing like, you're about to be someone's wife. Please deep it. You are literally the pillar of the home. You're about to establish a brand new home. How you are in this relationship can and will have an effect on generations to come, because you guys will, you know, have kids and stuff together, and your relationship is the foundation of which your family will be standing on. So that your decisions that you really like you make now will have an impact on generations to come, you know. So I see it as responsibility. I don't take it as a joke. I don't see it as just some small thing. I see it as a real responsibility that I think that we should take seriously, and we should really be excited about it, and be excited about your you know, your what's it called, your wedding day. But please take the necessary steps. Know your partner. Of course, you will never 100% know anyone, and obviously you guys know that myself and Ben don't live together, so a lot of people also say that, you know, you really get to know that person when you move in together. Now by that time, he's my husband, so I have to deal with whatever it is that I have to deal with as and when we live together. So I have to be prepared and open-minded. And something else that someone said to me, they were like, don't have too many high expectations. And I was like, sis, what do you mean don't have high expectations? Like, what, should I just leave my husband to just go and gallivant and do whatever he wants to do? And she was like, no. She basically said, sometimes when you go into marriage, you have these stupid expectations, like, oh yeah, every single day he's gonna cook me breakfast in bed, or you know, he is going to always, you know, be considerate of me when he goes to the toilet, i.e. not leaving the toilet seat up, or whatever expectations you seem or you may have. Sometimes as women, we have these like ridiculous expectations that we might have seen in movies, or that people had told us like, oh yeah, my husband does this, and so we now like, oh well, that's what my husband should be doing, and if he doesn't, then he's not up to par. But she was like to me, no, you just have to be kind of open to whatever you get given. So when you guys are married, you're gonna have to see your situation for your situation. Don't compare it to anyone else. Don't look at anybody else for justification, for whatever. Just look at your own situation. And I think that was great advice, because it really is so easy to get caught up in like this fairy tale of what you expect. Like, yeah, I'm gonna wake up the next day and I'm gonna have breakfast in bed, and he's gonna make me breakfast in bed every single day. He's gonna always be in the mood to massage my feet. He's gonna treat me like a goddess all times. And of course, your man should look after you, he should care for you, he should treat you like the queen that you are. But at the same time, just like you, he's also human, and he's not always gonna get it right. So he might come home and leave his dirty socks on the floor, or leave his clothes where you don't want it to be, even though you've told him a few times like, okay babe, can you please put your damn socks over here. I feel like that's going to be an issue for us, but at the same time it's not going to be an issue, because I've already prepared myself, and I don't want to be someone that nags. I don't want to be that nagging wife. Like, who the hell wants a nagging wife? Like, allow it. Just no, it's just not gonna. No, I will not be a nagging wife. And I rebuke my husband ever being like, oh, she's such a nag, and not wanting to like come home, or he's home feeling like, oh, I've got to go back to that place, I've got to go back to that woman. Hey, God forbid. I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. I'm kind of rambling now just as I finish off my hair, but as you can see, my face is beat to the gods, darling. But yeah, those are the realities of relationships, guys. Like, they're not easy, they're not all fun and games, they're not all airy-fairy and lovey-dovey all the time. And that's something that I wanted to say as well, actually, because the first time this transition happened, I got a little bit scared, because I thought, oh, he's gonna break up with me, he doesn't love me anymore, blah blah blah. And we actually had a conversation. I was like, I don't feel like you're as affectionate anymore towards me. I remember we had that conversation once, and I think even he admitted, he was like, yeah, I don't feel like I am as much, like, because when we first got together, he was very gooey. Very gooey, maybe even a little bit too gooey, and I think that's why he's kind of reined it back a little bit. But he was very, but I mean, he wouldn't be with your girl, you know. But he was very gooey, very like just gooey. That's I think that's the best word to describe it. He was very gooey. And then I remember one time he just wasn't as, and we spoke about it, and I felt as though he'd withdrawn a little bit. And for me, I saw it as like end of the world, like, oh my gosh, he doesn't love me anymore. But it wasn't even that. It was just that the dynamic in our relationship was shifting a little bit, where in the beginning, again, because it's so airy-fairy and it's so happy dandy, you are very affectionate, very gooey all the time, very I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then you get to a point in your relationship where you start to get obviously comfortable with one another, and you just get to a point where it's just like it's not necessary. And I think for me, I didn't understand that. I felt like, no, because it's been like this since the beginning, I expect him to always be, you know, lovey-dovey, and to always be very full on, and to always just be very intense. But then I realized, I was like, wait a minute, that's not even humanly possible for someone to always be very, very in love with you. You know, yes, they could still be in love with you, but just in that moment, sometimes, guys, I cannot lie to you, this is the truth. Sometimes you'll look at that person, like I mentioned earlier, and you will just be like, this is just long. Like, no word of a lie, this is all long, and just, I can't be bothered today. Like, today I'm just not in the mood. I'm not in the mood to be all, you know, airy-fairy with you. I'm not in the mood. I'm just not in the mood. I think for me, experiencing that shift for the first time, where I was like, why is he not being, especially because he was so full on, why is he not being as, you know, as affectionate and as gooey as he was before? And when after we had that conversation, it just made me feel basically, he still made me feel secure. Like, I still love you, and you know that I do. And it's not a case of now all of a sudden I'm not gonna be the man that I should be towards you. No, I'll still love you and respect you and treat you well and look after you, but it's just not gonna be as intense, because there comes a time where you're just gonna be like, I can't be, you know, again, gooey all the damn time. It's just not gonna happen. It was just the dynamic of our relationship changing, and that's okay. And I have learned now that not every day is gonna be a lovey-dovey, kissy, gooey day. Sometimes there's gonna be days where you don't like each other. There's gonna be days when there's conflict. There's gonna be days where you're like, oh, what am I doing here? Goodbye. I don't want to talk to you right now. I don't want to have a conversation with you. I don't know why we're bothering. Like, goodbye. Sorry, but no, thank you. Not right now. There will be some of those days. And I feel like we should talk about them more, because then some people think, oh my gosh, my relationship is broken. It's not broken, guys. It's okay. The dynamic in your relationship is just shifting, and that is okay. As long as you guys are still communicating, you know that you still love each other. So there are still, I'm not saying that the person now becomes so cold, you don't even know, like, you go to touch them and they like, get away from me. That's different. But in terms of, you know that you have those moments where you're affectionate towards each other. You know that that person still makes you feel secure. They don't make you feel like, oh my gosh, they're cheating on me or they're seeing somebody else. No, as long as they still make you feel secure, they still make you feel happy. Of course, you're not going to be happy all the time. That just doesn't even exist. It doesn't. I'm so sorry. Anyone that tries to be like, no, I'm happy 24 hours of the day with my partner and we're always happy and we never argue. Hey, I'm not going to lie. That sounds scary to me. I'm so sorry. But as two individuals, it must mean that either you just do not have an opinion on anything, and you just say, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir. Because I think sometimes that's what men want. Like, they just want somebody that would just be like, yes, no, okay. What do you, okay, whatever you want. No, I want you to have your own opinion. I want you to have your own thought process. I want you to, do you know what I mean? Like, be your own person. And when you are your own person, you're not always gonna agree. So as long as you guys are still in that place where you recognize your love for each other, you still communicate, you have conversations, you let each other know how you feel. So if you do feel like he's not, your partner's not been like romantic or just made you feel comfortable in a while, definitely bring it up and just be like, babe, you know what? And in a loving way, we do all things from a place of love. Come on guys, 1 Corinthians, okay? But maybe you can just be like, babe, you know that I love you, or like, babe, I just wanted to like talk to you about something. Basically, I've just been feeling a little bit like, you haven't been as just affectionate with me, as open with me. And maybe they will turn around and they'll be like, do you know what? I feel you, it's because of X, Y, and Z. Or do you know what? I felt it too, but I just didn't want to say anything, because that always tends to be the thing. I just didn't want to say anything because I just didn't feel like it was necessary to bring up, or I didn't want to cause an argument or whatever. And you can just be like, listen, no argument here, I just wanted to raise it. It would be really nice if you could, and let them know exactly what you want. And it's just giving me something in my mind, actually, that I definitely think I would like to see more of, which I haven't seen in a long time. So I'm gonna let him know. But I'm gonna let you know. By the time you see this video, I probably will have let you know already. But yeah, anyway, this video is now extremely long. It wasn't meant to be that long, but you know me, I love a good chat. So beautiful people, this is the final look, darlings. This is all the hair curled, and I basically used straighteners to curl my hair. You probably would have seen how I was doing it anyway, but basically you always go outwards in order to curl your hair. Massive shout out, by the way, to Julia, which is a company that sell beautiful jewelry. And I love this ring, and I was gonna put down the other ring, and obviously my engagement ring. I've got a video coming out where I basically go and like do an unboxing of this ring. I just haven't released it yet, which is terrible because I should have done it a long time ago, but gorgeous ring. Anyway, yeah, don't forget to sign up to the Powerclass program. Our first session is on the 18th of Feb, so literally in 4 days, and it's going to be amazing. We're going to have a great time. There's a lot of stuff that we need to work on, and we're starting on building you, so focusing on you as an offline, focusing on you as an individual, and yeah, it's going to be amazing. So make sure you join. Anyway, I gotta go because I'm running really late, so bye.